There's a new theory floating around about what Marvel could do with Thor 5, and honestly, it sounds like the perfect way to bring Chris Hemsworth's journey as the God of Thunder to a powerful close. Marvel hasn't officially confirmed a fifth Thor movie yet, but after how Love and Thunder got so much flack, it's clear the character could really use a bit of redemption. Hemsworth is already set to return in Avengers Doomsday, and he'll probably appear in Secret Wars too. Still, it feels like Thor 5 might be the one to actually tie up his story for good. Chris Hemsworth has been playing Thor since way back in 2011, when he first showed up in the original Thor movie during Phase 1 of the MCU. Over the years, he's become the only main hero to headline 4 solo movies, which is impressive on its own. But even with all that screen time, Marvel has had a pretty tough time nailing down exactly who Thor is supposed to be. He's bounced around between a tragic Shakespearean-style god, a grim, serious Avenger, a goofy gladiator, and a super lighthearted dad. It's like they've been throwing ideas at the wall just to see what sticks. So if Doomsday and Secret Wars are setting the stage, then Thor 5 might finally be the shot to give Thor the send-off he deserves, and finally get his character right. Now, one cool possibility that fans have been talking about is how Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars could start laying the groundwork for Thor's death. It's been confirmed that Hemsworth will be back at least one more time, and Doomsday will be his first MCU appearance since Love and Thunder in 2022. That movie ended with Thor taking in Gorr's daughter as his own and setting off on some new cosmic adventure. So naturally, people are wondering what brings him back to Earth. Maybe it's a huge battle. Maybe it's Doctor Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr., which would be wild. But as great as it'll be to see Thor with the Avengers again, there's been talk that Hemsworth might be ready to hang up the hammer soon. Between some personal stuff in his life and how mixed the fan response to Thor has been lately, people are speculating that Thor 5 could be his big finale. If that's the case, then Doomsday and Secret Wars might start dropping clues that Thor's time in the MCU is wrapping up. And one Reddit theory in particular makes a lot of sense for how to do it. So here's the theory. Thor 5 could kick off with Thor's death. Pretty wild, right? It'd be a bold move, like how Infinity War started with Loki's death. Imagine beginning the movie with something that shocking. Fans would be floored. But it wouldn't be the end of his story, not exactly. Instead, Thor 5 could shift into something a little more mythic, taking Thor into the afterlife, specifically Valhalla. We actually got a glimpse of Valhalla in the Love and Thunder post-credit scene when Jane Foster showed up there and was greeted by Heimdall. So it's not just a fan fantasy, it's already canon. If Thor were to die, maybe in a battle with Hercules or someone just as powerful, that could land him in Valhalla, where he could meet up with familiar faces. We're talking about Heimdall, Jane Foster, maybe the Warriors 3, his parents Odin and Frigga, and even the original Loki. That alone would make for an emotional roller coaster. But instead of just hanging around in paradise, Thor might have to fight to save Valhalla itself. The idea of spending real time in Valhalla is honestly pretty exciting because up until now, it's been more of a tease than anything substantial. The theory goes a step further and suggests that Thor would be defending Valhalla from a powerful new villain, someone from Marvel Comics like the Midgard Serpent, the Chaos King, or even the Black Winter. Any one of those would be a massive threat, and it could easily become Thor's most epic battle yet. And let's face it, after all the time we've spent on Earth and in places like Jotunheim and Svartalfheim, it'd be cool to see Marvel explore a different part of Asgardian lore. Valhalla has some of the MCU's most legendary characters tied to it, so revisiting those relationships while introducing new stakes would be a great way to give Thor a fitting farewell. It would feel like a love letter to everything that came before, from his first movie through the Avengers saga, and close out his arc with meaning. But if Thor really does die at the beginning of the movie and goes off on this spiritual journey, it would leave a big question behind. What about love? At the end of Love and Thunder, Thor adopts Gorr's daughter Love, who's not just any kid. She's got powers from eternity itself, making her one of the strongest new characters in the MCU. And here's where things get really interesting. If Thor's death is permanent, That could open the door for Love to step into a bigger role. Right now, she's in Thor's shadow, and as long as he's around, it might be tough for her to find her own identity as a hero. Losing her father would be heartbreaking, obviously, but it could also give her a reason to grow and evolve into her own person. We haven't seen much of her abilities yet, but it's safe to assume she's powerful. So if Chris Hemsworth does decide to leave the MCU, Love could become the new protector in his place. It would be a bold move for Marvel, but one that feels right if they want to pass the torch. Now, even though Thor 5 hasn't been confirmed, I've got a strong opinion on which version of Thor Hemsworth should bring back if the movie does happen. Across all his appearances, Thor's gone through a bunch of personality changes, and not all of them have landed. I think it's time Marvel finally figured out who Thor really is. My ideal version? Somewhere between the dramatic hero we saw early on and the more relaxed, funny guy from later films. After Love and Thunder leaned super hard into the comedy and got called out for it, I'd love to see them dial it back a bit. Bring back some of the drama and emotional weight. The story is already there, they just need to follow through on it. Believe it or not, I think Thor: The Dark World actually gave us the most balanced take on the character. It's definitely not my favorite movie. It's pretty low on a lot of MCU rankings, but Thor himself was really well written in it. The film kept some of the mythic, noble qualities from that first Thor movie, while also letting Hemsworth experiment with humor in a way that didn't feel over the top. The comedy came off more natural, and the stakes still felt real. Plus, we got to see Thor do what he does best, smash bad guys with Mjolnir. Then we got Infinity War, which, in my opinion, brought that version of Thor back and made him even better. The Russo brothers managed to keep him funny while still letting the darkness and pain come through. That whole subplot with Thor forging Stormbreaker and confronting Thanos was amazing. One of the best scenes ever is still when he lands in Wakanda and yells, "Bring me Thanos." It gave me chills. The cool thing about Infinity War is how it gave us every version of Thor at once. You had the mythic hero, the cosmic adventurer, and the awkward, charming guy from the Guardians of the Galaxy scenes, all in one movie. And it worked. Thor felt like a complete character, not just a joke machine or a tragic figure. So if Thor 5 really does happen, and I hope it does, I want that Thor back. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.